is another one at the front burner. June 12, 1993, right up until 2025. Any difference yet? From one democratically elected president, governor to the other, and to the next, and to the next. Any difference still? Can we truly say it is government for the people? You can complete that. Or the voice of Nigerians, truly make the way. Or are Nigerians even speaking up, at the highest volume as they should in a democratically, elected system, as the case may be. We're going to look at that, though our time is short. But quickly, let's take you through the dailies this morning as we start with the Punch newspaper. On page 2 of the Punch, Democracy Day fireworks, Tinubu opposition, trade blows. You find it on page 2. Protesters, APC supporters hold parallel rallies in Lagos, Abuja on page 10. And on page 2, which is the major story on the Punch newspaper for today, Knox, kudos as Tinubu honors June 12 heroes. The writer says Soyinka 58 others honored, Sarawiwa Ogoni 8 pardon. Critics flay precedent for Umar Udumaki orders omission. All right, we'll look at that and more this morning. That's all we have on the Punch newspaper for today. Quickly, let's move to the Nigerian Tribune. Kudirat Abiola Ige Sarawiwa Nwosu Soyinka Riwani others get national honors. Ogoni 9 granted presidential pardon, national honors. No plan to turn Nigeria into one-party state, says President Tinubu. And finally on the Tribune this morning, finally on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, plane heading to London from India carrying 230 passengers crashes, one survives. Sad story there. We must, say, and we pray for the families involved right there. Let's move on to our final daily for today. On page 3, NNPC remits 4.7 trillion naira as oil revenue shortfall hits $5.7 billion. On page 3, June 12, Soludo Fashola Jega advocate electoral reforms, national rebirth. On page 3. And on page 2, one passenger survives as plane crash kills over 260 in India. And to the major story on The Guardian, on page 6, June 12, President Nigerians differ on progress, impact 32 years after. Democracy Day, Tinubu honors Alex Ibro, Kudirat Nwosu, Akinyemi, others with national awards. That's on page 9. And on page 5, Abiola family seek legislation to institutionalize June 12 on page 5. Aliyah accuses religious leaders of fueling insecurity in Benue State. On page 30, windstorm kill 5, injures 30 in Taraba. On page 6, International Day. Emergency services at risk, over 80% blood shortage in hospitals. And finally, varsities more secure 70% in 4 key areas to get full NUC accreditation, says the federal government. You find that and more this morning on the Guardian newspaper. Thank you so much again for joining us on the program this morning. Remember, you can watch us live on our Facebook page. Now we're live on Facebook with our handle Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on our Facebook page, and also on YouTube, Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today. In a moment, the phone lines will be thrown open for you to also share your perspective on stories out of Nigeria today. But we start from the studio as we look at the top stories of the week. And of course, we dive into the big story or the big conversation for today across major dailies in Nigeria. Thank you for joining the show.
His arrival at the airport was at 6:10, which was way below the arrival time he was supposed to be, as you're supposed to be at the airport 45 minutes before boarding. Senator Adams Oshimole arrived at the airport when boarding had closed. When he was informed about this, he had stated that he had checked in online with a luggage in tow. However, it was told to him that even if he had checked in online with the luggage in tow, you could not still come in because you would have to verify your luggage, check the weight of the luggage and all. And when he did all this, he got incensed and disrupted our operations by barricading the door and raining insults on our passengers and our staff. On this, we tried to plead with him to ensure that passengers who were supposed to be on the other service enter their flights, but he could not listen to our demands and our pleas to him. And we were really, really disappointed that this happened because we believe that he is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Somebody now went and said, it's Oshomole. Then the senior manager came out. I said, okay, let's see how I can sort you out. I said, no. I don't want personal favor. I want my right and the right of these Nigerians to be enforced. Because this is the problem of Nigeria. So if I wasn't a senator, if I was not former governor, if I was not former NSC president, nobody knows me, but I have a valid ticket. I am here. The flight is on ground. I came with tea time. Why would you check me in? I don't want personalized solution. I want a general system solution. So don't do me any favor. Don't extend any courtesy to me. Even the video that is in circulation, you will hear what I said. Don't do me favor. But they wanted to now shut me up by finding solution to me. Then I abandoned these other people. I told them no. In fact, when the DSS eventually came, no, let me finish this. So I said, I don't want personal solution. I don't want favor. I want the right of Nigeria to be enforced, including my own right.
Welcome back to the program, Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. This morning, when we get to stories around June 12, we're going to be talking more about the national honors and your view, perspective as regards democracy so far in Nigeria. With me in the studio this morning, our analyst is here to help us make sense of all of the stories we'll be looking at this morning. Should I call you Alaji this morning?
Anything goes.
Is it a Friday after Eid? Or Salah, rather. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Morning,
Mr. Olaliko Sonny is here.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How about
and how
you?
has been your week?
We thank God.
Oluwasho.
Have you?
All right. Let's start with this Oshomole while we look at the stories for the week. Adams Oshomole and the airpiece situation. If you ask me, I'd say very embarrassing to see that on the internet. Sometimes I worry for our nation, the kind of things we put on the internet. And guess what? The internet never forgets. Yoruba people would say, Aye Lujara, the world is connected. And so from in Nigeria, I can see Canada. I can see India. I mean, look at the plane crash. We saw the video just a while after the plane, took off, and then it's the next thing, it's in flames. And just one person, survived among 230, 40 thereabout. It's very important, relevant to us here because we can see, and only to see, our senator and a major airline company doing stuff, at the international airport. Not good to see. We'll talk about the airpiece one very quickly. And of course, the renaming of the International Conference Center by the landlord of Abuja some week as described by the president to Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. I would really love to have your thoughts. As I think the conference center was built, if I'm not mistaken, in 91 or 92?
91.
Yeah, 91.
By
Babangida administration. And, have gone through renovation over and over. And if Babangida didn't name the conference center after him, or subsequent administration that have also, been in power over time, then how much more national monuments or center do we have to name after people? Most importantly, as regards to why some of the other, sections of the International Conference Center was also named after other key prominent government officials or elected officials at a time like this. I'll let you weigh in on Adams Oshomole. Shut down terminal in Lagos Airport and fight airpiece staff. And connected to the tape we played earlier, airpiece said they tried to pacify him, but they're disappointed that is coming from a senator of the Federal Republic. The senator is saying, don't try to give me, pacify me or preference. What if I'm not a governor, former governor, or being a senator, or being former NLC chairman? Let the right of other Nigerians speak. If you go on the internet, this brand name is not new to flight cancellation. I mean, some of us have also been a victim, of this particular brand. But I'll let you bring in your thought on this conversation and what you think about it.
Thank you very much, Chief. I am not here to speak for that particular brand because, in all seriousness, they have messed people up countless times in the past. But it's not restricted to that particular airline. Even in foreign countries, I mean, it's something I've seen before. Let's now go to what Oshiomhole did. Oshiomhole walked in. Let's even believe, let's assume without conceding that he walked into the terminal at around 5 minutes past 6, as he is claiming. And you felt like the airline was, acting up, they were doing some shenanigans. You are a senator, for crying out loud. All you needed to do at that particular point in time was to notice and observe everything they were doing. You have a very big floor called the floor of the Senate to say whatever you want to say. And at that particular point, you wouldn't be acting as Mr. Oshiomhole. You'll be acting as a member of the Nigerian Senate. And whatever happens at that particular floor is going to hold ground. He could have said, he said the airline was extorting people by asking them to 15,000 naira extra. That's a very clear case of extortion and graft. But instead of blocking the terminal gate, instead of saying, nobody's going to come in here, nobody's going to get out of this place, why not document everything? Okay, Chief, you want to board this airline, and this airline, and they are telling you that you must pay 15,000 extra. Okay, please, I'll need you, because I'll need some evidence to display before Nigerians. Oh, madam, is that what you're telling you to? Okay, please give me your number so that by the time I'm saying this thing on the floor of the Senate, people are going to understand I'm not just making this thing up. But instead, he decided to block the entire terminal, making it impossible for people going to Warri, people going to Sokoto, people going to Ilora, people going to every corner of this country to board their flight. That's reckless. That is reckless. And, this is even trying to look at it from the angle of Oshiomhole. The airline has come out to say, no. You walked in 10 minutes before the flight. That doesn't happen anywhere in the world except you are flying private. If it's not your jet or your chartered jet, airlines actually run that service. You come in, you charter a whole plane, and you take it to wherever you want to take it. If that is the case, you can come in a minute before the designated time because it's your time, not that time. You have paid.
They're waiting for you.
They are waiting for you. That is just it. When you are ready, they are ready. But no, this is a commercial flight. Having hundreds of people on board going to Abuja, they cannot wait for you. 6:30 flight is the most important flight because people on that flight have things to do by 8 a.m. in the other city they are going to. So nobody is going to wait for you. I've been on such flights and nobody would want to even tolerate a minute delay. Because a lot of people have been waiting for so very many things. If they had the flexibility of time, they could have gone since yesterday. But most of them, 90% of them got to know that they will be flying maybe overnight for something very, very important. You are now walking in majestically because you are a senator and former governor and you expect people to keep quiet? No. And looking at the videos I have heard, people were even abusing Oshiomhole there. A guy walked up to him, a guy with a travel bag, knowing too what this guy must have been a passenger. And he walked up to him to say, Mr. Oshiomhole, you are a bully. I saw the video. Let's now go to what the government is saying. The government agency in charge of civil aviation, NCAA, their director of publicity, he actually posted on his verified Twitter handle that, Chief, that particular time you walked into the terminal, believe it, you are late already. So you do not have any right to throw tantrums here. And, Oshiomhole, for who he is, he told the whole world, I have the video. He has denied it, but I have the video, where he said, he was the chairman of the APC then. He said, once you join our party, your past sins are forgiven.
Yeah.
They asked him like a year or two after, and he said, no, he never said that. That is an obvious lie. And if you lie to me once, shame on you. If you lie to me twice, shame on me, because I won't even allow you to lie to me twice. I'll label you a liar for the rest of time. So knowing Oshiomhole for who he is not the one I'm going to trust in this particular situation. That is it.
All right. We're hoping that more investigation, the CCTV...
Bad behaviors have consequences.
Absolutely.
And the airline has come out to say, we dare the authorities, FAN here, the landlord of, a guy is the landlord of Abuja. FAN is the landlord of all airports in Nigeria. And the airline has said, FAN, release the CCTV, showing the time this guy walked in.
Do you think the CCTV footage will be released, knowing that this is the Senator of the Federal Republic?
And the friend of the president? You never can tell. I don't want to say it's not possible, but let's just say you never can tell.
Let's see. Hopefully this will not be swept under the carpet,
yes.
For some other things to roll over it. Let's talk about the renaming of the International Conference Center.
In all seriousness, it's a shame. It shows clearly that the current president has no shame. Yesterday we were celebrating Democracy Day. What exactly is Democracy Day? It's an anniversary of the day that we sent the guys in uniform back to the barracks. And it's on the eve of that particular day that he chose to rename a monument built by a military administration. I mean, that's not connecting. You said in your democracy speech yesterday that Nigeria started in 1999 from the ashes. So you are renaming a monument built when Nigeria was in the ashes in your name over when we are in gold. I mean, according to him. That's not making sense. That's number one. Number two, Babangida built this particular facility and he named it International Conference Center. For anybody who cares to understand, it is an event center.
Yes, it is.
That is it.
Nothing more.
Nothing more than an event center. Abacha renovated it. I don't know about Abdul Salami because he was there for a short time. Obasanjo renovated it. We have had at least 4 renovations since 1991. And not at any of these 4 renovations did the president and commander-in-chief of that time say, oh, let's name this thing after me. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president. Near some weekend in his roads, the land of Abuja, they decided to renovate this place. And they said, number one, 39 billion naira to renovate an event center. That, in my opinion, is a crime against the people of Nigeria. How much did Babangida build that place?
I think that's the question we should ask now.
I mean, how much
the value of
that place
compared to now?
Now you are saying you want to renovate. In fact, you have renovated it with 39 billion naira. In all seriousness, if Nigeria were to be a functional country, the EFCC and ICPC should be hard at work right now. But that's not the case, and that's unfortunate. Let's now leave that aside. Number two, okay, you have renovated it. The main hall is now going to be designated as Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. That's the peak of shamelessness, because we are trying to forget any vestige of the military administrations that we have had in this country, and you are now renaming what they've built with their own time and resources. Well, national resources, but they were the ones in charge then. After you, it shows you are shameless. That's number one. Number two, a section of it is now going to be named Kashim Shettima Hall. Another section is going to be called Godzilla Babiu Hall. Another section is going to be called Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Representatives Hall. Another section is going to be called Kekere Ekon, the CGN, Chief Justice of the Federation. I mean, I don't get it. Why not build your home monument from scratch? I'll now say, okay, this is going to. I don't support the idea of naming government buildings or infrastructure after individuals.
Okay. Your view. Let me get your view.
Yes, my view. I don't support it because you didn't use your money to build it.
build it.
If you are using your money to say, okay, I mean, as Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, I want to build this airport and donate it to Nigeria, you can decide to name it after your pet because it's your money. Not even your own name. You can even say, okay, the name of my dog is Kolo Kolo, and I want to name it Kolo Kolo Airport. If you don't like it, go away because I built it. If you don't like it, go and build your own. That's different. But you are using money, resources belonging to the people, and you are now naming it after you. It's not making much sense.
So Wike is speaking here and said it is necessary for people to understand why this is now Bola Tinubu International Conference Center. This was built in 1991 under the military government, and since then, nothing has happened to the International Conference Center. Last year, you came to inaugurate the ECOWAS Parliament, and it was an embarrassment for a country to have this as an international conference center then. And you said, how can we have this as an international conference center? That showed leadership, and you said, look next time you come here. You want to see a different facility. Within 8 months, this is what we have. Without your leadership, it wouldn't have been possible. You are not only the president who, has been here. So many presidents have come here, and none said this is not what Nigeria needs. This is why we named the ICC after President Bola Tinubu.
And remodeling an event center is the definition of leadership. It tells you how low we have sunk. That is number one. Number two, it's a very big, fat and tall lie that no president has fixed that place. Even your house that you built in 1991, will it still be standing today if you have not touched it since 1991? I mean, Wike, we know who Wike is. Let's not deliberate on Wike's matter. I mean, I won't even dignify him with much words this morning. What I'm trying to say here is that it is wrong to have renovated that place with 39 billion naira. Number two, a lot of people have worked on that facility and they never renamed it after them. And number three, it's a shame that around the time we are choosing to celebrate democracy, it's still the same time you chose to change the name of a monument built by a military government. Those are my three facts.
All right, let's get to the Punch newspaper very quickly. Our first story for today, before we take our break at 7. Knox kudos as Tinubu honors June 12 heroes. That story is big this morning in Nigeria. The president on Thursday attracted praises and knocks for the list of honorees he announced as democracy heroes. Well, some Nigerians lauded the president for his tribute to the heroes of June 12. 1993 struggle. Some lamented that key names were conspicuously omitted from the list. The late Moshood Abiola was named the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, regarded as the freest and fairest in the country, which was annulled by the military under General Ibrahim Babangida. And following the annulment, several prominent Nigerians who spoke against the military decisions were killed, incarcerated under frivolous charges, while others went on exile for fear of being, killed. The president, in the exercise of his power on Thursday, bestowed national honors on activists, journalists, scholars, and fallen heroes and pro-democracy icon. He also granted presidential pardon and confer honors on the Ogoni Nine. I want you to comment on the Ogoni Nine in particular, led by Ken Saro-Wiwa, who was executed on the 10th of November 1995 by the military junta. The Ogoni Nine, including Saro-Wiwa, were executed following their protests against shale oil activities in the region. The list was announced during President Tinubu's Democracy Day address. Initially, we usually would get an address in the morning, but that was cancelled for the president to then give a combined one at the NAS later. Some of the living, members who received the honor include the Nobel laureate, Professor Wale Soyinka, General Alani Akinrinade, retired, elevated to the Grand Commander of the Order of Niger, civil rights lawyer Femi Falana SCN, Bishop Matthew Kuka, Dari Babarinsa, Professor Julius, Senator Shehu Sani, Kaduna State Governor Obasani, received Commander of the Order of Niger. Others by Commander of the Federal Republic of Niger, Officer of the Order of the Niger. However, Shehu Sanu, who also got national honor on Thursday, and his ex-handle listed some prominent names in the North who participated in the June 12 struggle and should have been honored. And so after receiving his own honor, then realized that some of the names should be included. You know, Alhaji Balarabe Musa was mentioned, Colonel Dangiwa Urmal, Dr. Bala Usman, Salihu Lukman, Hamed Joda, John Damfulani. Others include Professor Jibril Ibrahim, James Bawa Magaji, Buka Abba Ibrahim, Atairu Jega, Usman Bugaji, Sulaiman Hamed, Nasir Abbas, Nasir Kura, Dan Sulaiman, and so on and so forth. There are too many names here, but another one here, critics said that Tinubu's national honor also did not include Otumba Gaddafi, who stood by Abiola, Bishop Bolanle Gbunigi, and Joe Odumaki of the Afenifere. The list also failed to recognize prominent Nigerian Yinka Odumaki, I beg your pardon, not Joe Odumaki, Yinka Odumaki, and that should be posthumous, Babafemi Ojodu, and so many other. Even Dele Mohammedu was named here among so many others. But we're going to take a break. When we come back right after that break, we're going to look at the honors, the names, and of course, I'll let you weigh in on your Ogoni 9 and your reaction to that one. We'll look at that and more when we come back after the break. Do stay with us.
Give your child the gift of excellence at Junior's International School, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Are you searching for a school where top quality education meets care, love, and safety? A school where skilled professionals ignite young minds in an environment that stimulates learning, creativity, and moral growth? Do you desire a school that offers rich academic curricula designed to prepare your child for local and international examinations, opening doors to future success both within and outside Nigeria? At Junior's International School, we don't just educate, we discover and nurture each child's unique aptitude while molding them into highly productive global citizens driven by godly principles. Join us on the journey of raising tomorrow's leaders. Admission test into pre-nursery to year 5 holds on Friday, 1st August 2025. Venue, Junior's International School, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Time 9 a.m. Admission forms are available online at www.juniorsinternationalschool.com or at the school premises. Junior's International School, Center of Excellence.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
I am the well of salvation. Why don't you drink from me and leave?
Goodwill message from Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
We rejoice with our sister organization, Well of Salvation Global Ministries, on the occasion of her 30th anniversary, aptly themed Grace for the Next Level.
We are particularly glad to identify with the landmark celebration because it is coming at a time when God has graciously moved Wells Radio from the level of online broadcasting to the next level of terrestrial broadcasting, in which we are making a bigger impact impact within the broadcast space of Ibadan and indeed Oyo State as the #1 family radio and the preferred station for wholesome content.
We cannot but note with thanksgiving to God that this could not have been our story without the ever greater and more important spiritual support of Well of Salvation Ministries through members' fervent prayers since the time that God dropped the vision for the radio and television broadcasting in the heart of his daughter, a founder and CEO, evangelist Mrs. Lillian Badimosi, many years back.
It is a thing of great joy that we both share from the divine grace bestowed on her and are co-beneficiaries of God's faithfulness, mercy, and love in her life.
As we marvel at what God has done in the life of Well of Salvation Global Ministries in the past level of 30 years, we can only imagine and project into how bigger, mightier, greater, and more glorious the next level would be.
We congratulate the visionary, evangelist Lillian Badimosi, the leaders, and the entire members of Well of Salvation Global Ministries on her 30th anniversary and pray that if the Lord tarries his coming, the next level shall witness divine expansion, enlargement, and increase in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
From all of us at Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
I am the well of salvation.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
We must celebrate the courage of Alhaja Kudirat Abiola and Pa Alfred Rewani, both of whom were murdered by agents of military repression. We also remember the many civil rights activists, journalists, and politicians imprisoned, exiled, tossed aside, tortured, and beaten by the military regime.
The intro of Chief Moshood Abiola campaign song captured the spirit of that day. Nigeria on the march again. Indeed, Nigeria was on the march toward democracy, but that cruel announcement turned the march for democracy into a march for justice.
The historic events of June 12, 1993, a day when Nigerians across all divides united to affirm their collective will of democratic governance. We also salute His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who himself was a frontline crusader in the Nadeko pro-democracy struggle.
To those who ring the alarm that the APC is intent on a one-party state, I offer you a most personal promise. While your alarm may be as a result of their panic, it rings an error. At no time in the past, nor any instance in the present, and at no future junction, shall I view the notion of one-party state as good for Nigeria. While malicious slander and libel should not go unattended, no one should bear the brunt of injustice for merely writing a bad report about me or called me names. Democracy requires a fair degree of tolerance for harsh words and stinging insults.
Welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Let me let you quickly, speak to the national honors. Are there names on this list that you don't expect to see? I mean, this will be your view now, that you don't think should be there. Are there names that you think should be there? For me in particular, I would say when I saw Bolage in particular, I was excited to see that. Kudirat Abiola excited to see that. Alawa Kabashon excited to see that. But let me get your view on some of the names here.
Thank you very much, Chief. If we are celebrating democracy, the people you must be bringing around that time must be people who all their life fought against against military rule. Now we are having names of Bolaji Akinyemi. I mean, respect to the old man, but his name shouldn't be in this list. And the reason for that is that he was Babangida's Foreign Affairs Minister. He was part of the military regime then, though he was not a man in uniform, but he was part of the regime. That's that. The same thing for Wole Soyinka. He worked with that regime as well. So what exactly are these people looking for in that particular list? Your character, your past must be unblemished. It must be uncheckered. But these are people who were here, they were there, they were here, they were there along the line. I mean, no, let's get serious. You mentioned Dili Momodu. There is absolutely no way Dili Momodu's name is going to be there. And the reason for that is that he's on the opposition camp.
Currently.
I can remember too well that when they were doing Radio Kudirat then, it was the official broadcast channel for Nadeko. It was Dili Momodu who was reading the Yoruba news then. So he fought. He couldn't come to Nigeria then. Anytime he was in Nigeria, he was always snaking in through Idiroko and the likes. He was taking huge risks. But, right now he's on the other side of the divide. Now you're now seeing names like Bayo, Ononuga. And I begin to wonder what exactly this guy contribute. If you are giving Bayo Ononuga anything, you must give Dili... but Femi Ojudu, because they were working together. But right now, Ojudu is on the camp of Oshibajo, and Ononuga is on the camp of Tinubu. So that is why I've looked the list from A to Z, and I can tell you that it's about people who are in bed with the current president. He even made a mistake. 2 people who are still alive were given posthumous honor. I begin to say, I mean, seriously. Funny enough, one of them is the factional chairman of the Fenifere, someone who is actively supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Somehow, they said he is dead when the man is still alive in Akure.
That's a major mix-up. Let's take this call. This call has been on the line for a while. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that call. Please do call us back. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Your name and where you are calling us from?
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Aderonke from Muslim. Good morning, Aderonke. Your perspective.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, concerning the democracy day, truth be told, we are not practicing democracy in Nigeria. Just take a look at it. It's just like we are retrogressing in democracy because what we are practicing is dictatorship. Rule of law is not an national principle of democracy. So law should not be applied unjustly and in a biased manner. So as at yesterday, that the president was given honor to people. In short, to me, we are not practicing democracy. That's my own take. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aderonke. Your perspective.
The president said something I'm struggling to understand. He said, irrespective of whatever you say, you will never be incarcerated.
Yeah,
I mean,
a part of the tape we used.
That's a very big fact. Until countless journalists have been arrested and treated very, very badly under his administration. The biggest of them is the name called Segun Olatunji. He was arrested in the presence of his family. He was blindfolded. He was taken to Abuja. He was, in chains for 3 days. He wasn't fed for a lot of days. People didn't even know where he was until some journalists began to do some investigation behind the camera. What did this guy do? He was writing an article as regards money being collected from the immediate past administration and how it's been mismanaged. The looting and relooting. And for that alone, this guy was, jailed, and not jailed like he was not even taken to court, but he was incarcerated. Nobody had access to him. That's that. There is something that I am complaining angrily and bitterly against, and that is the Cybercrime Act. Yesterday, some foreign envoys, US, UK, Norway, and one other country, they all came together to say Nigeria needs to repeal or at least amend that act. That right now, it is what the Nigeria police force is using to torment people. They pick you up for something that is not even related to the computer, and they are slamming a cybercrime charge on you. It's what they have been using to harass journalists since May 29, 2023. I don't want it, and I want it to be repealed, not even amended, repealed. If we were talking about cybercrime, that should come from NECDA, it should come from agencies of government saddled with the responsibility of keeping our cyber space clean, not the Nigeria police. We know what they do. What they do is that they feel like it's more of their duty to protect government than the people, which is wrong. That is the SSS. SSS protects government. Not even when I say you're protecting the government, not from criticisms, not from insults, but from assault, some physical touch. I mean, the function of the SSS is to ensure that you don't lay your hands on the president, the vice president, but you can say whatever you want to say. So long you are not planning something that can topple the government through the back door, you should be free. But that is not the case. Look at the last time people went out to say, okay, we want to protest against bad governance. Thousands of people were rounded up.
We're going to come to that protest and democracy in itself. But let's take this call. Good morning to
Hello,
you.
good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning, sir.
And the analyst in the studio. My name is Tayo. I'm calling from Ibadan here.
Good morning, Mr. Tayo.
Happy celebration, happy Democracy Day.
Thank
See,
you.
I have an important. Let me tell you one thing this morning. Government and they hear us. So let us get that clear this morning. Government hear us. You know, for quite some time, I've been hammering for the army generals to be drafted to the civil and to the battlefront. You have children in the army who are officers. Are you getting me? Now, at the end of the day, Chief of Army Staff has now relocated to Benue State. That should not be his place of call now. He should go to Maiduguri, Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. That should either Borno or Yobe should be his place of call. That is where he should stay, not Benue. Now, I kept on saying at that time that what are generals doing in their offices? They should be at the theater of war. American soldiers, we see American generals sitting down in the office and the same thing applies to Japan and all those advanced countries. That's not where I'm going. This morning I listened to a radio program, a popular evangelist. I don't know whether he's also on the. So this officer came to thank God, to give testimony how God saved his life. He's a serving officer, serving army, serving soldier. He said they were about 13. One officer led them. They were on patrol. Are you getting me? They were on patrol. He said, "You know that they were ambushed, and now the officers were killed. That only God has saved him, and that of the brigade commander, the officer that led them, that men were killed. Now, this is where I'm going. Who are the traitors? Let Tinubu call the chief of army staff and bring out those traitors, those who tell the bandits or the Boko Haram, the enemy, to go and lay ambush. He's a Yoruba man. He's a Southerner. So these are the issues. This is why this Boko Haram issue has not been disseminated all these years. Right. So I'm sure Tinubu is this man, Minister of Power, Pekele, is listening to me. And I'm sure somebody will tell him this. Let Tinubu call the chief of army staff, fish out all these traitors in the army, and get them executed. We are losing men. We are losing. It is too bad. So,
Thank you
good
so
morning,
much.
my brother.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that call. Please do call us back. 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, and 0915-334-893. When you ask Nigerians about democracy, especially school children, I know that I've heard that from a parent who said, my child asked me, what is democracy? You know, he said that. Are we truly practicing democracy? Then dead silence there because they are not sure. Are we truly practicing democracy, especially we protest and the likes? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wells Radio.
Yes, good morning to you. We're very well, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
All right. Good morning, Mr. Sonny. My name is Salami.
Morning, sir.
I'm calling from Awoto.
All right, Mr. Salami from Awoto. Good morning.
It's all good. Thank you, sir. You see, the drama created by Oshomole at the airport is a national embarrassment, honestly speaking. All over the world, flights have been cancelled, flights have been delayed. I mean, people have been missing flights. One would not expect the airport to change the system because of him being a senator, being this, being all that. I think you understand. And the man was even having the country to when we attempt to pacify him, it was didn't desire, didn't request for this and that. For Christ's sake, who wants to go to equity must do so with clean hands. Did we get there at the right time? I have missed my body here even at the Ibadan National Train Center. Train park in Moniya.
Train station.
I had a meeting in Lagos at 10 o'clock. I got there some 10 minutes before takeoff. Of course, we were probably told wait for evening kind of boarding. So we had to have that. And as for weekend, I mean, International Conference Center after Tinubu. Honestly speaking, I don't even. It shows the sycophancy in the man, and that is politicians for you. They even turn themselves to bootlickers of Mr. President just for favor. I think you understand. Well, one thing our leaders must realize is that, honestly speaking, they should do right. If they do the right thing, they remain indelible in people's mind for generations. How many people still remember that our built house here in Ibadan? But yet, we still respect our based on what we heard from our parents and grandparents. That is what President Tinubu should hold dear to his heart. He should know that if he does well, if he governs well, he will be forever remembered. His name will be written in the sands of time, not until everyone is named after him. That is just it.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Let's go back to that question. We saw what happened during NSAS. I mean, democracy and protests, side by side, you can speak up. End bad governance, NSAS, and so many other, small protests here and there, where you still hear that some people have been picked up, they are nowhere to be found, and sometime you then, see their release and the likes. Let me get your view on that.
Thank you. There are various forms of government across the world, and they are working fine for the people who are operating them. In the Middle East, it's more of monarchy, and it's working for them. In talk of development and advancement, you can't place a lot of the countries, most of the countries in the Middle East with Nigeria. They have gone far ahead. It's like light years ahead of us. Talk of China, it's communism in them and it's working for them. It's communism there, and it's working for them. What makes democracy to stand out is the ability for you to express yourself without putting yourself in trouble. That is the only difference between democracy and these other forms of government. I mean, a lot of people have even argued that, some forms of government are better than democracy because to truly fix a country, you need some iron hands, and democracy won't allow you to do that. Let's adopt this, let's adopt that. For me, I think democracy still remains the best. But without rule of law, there is no democracy. Without rule of law, there is no democracy. Democracy is as good as rule of law. That is what distinguishes democracy from other forms of government. The question now is this: is there rule of law in Nigeria? People walked the streets last year asking for a better country, and you slammed treason on them. Do you know what treason means?
Let's take this call very quickly. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you. That's Mr. George from Ologweru.
Yeah, Mr. George, I'm calling you from Ologweru.
Good morning, Mr. George.
I will always thank Doctor for his analysis. Is Tinubu priding himself that he's practicing democracy? All the names he mentioned, he just picks people. Is it today those people are supposed to be honored? He just want to cover up all the errors he has committed, all the atrocities he has committed against our constitution. These are the things he's covering up. Like what the man that called I was talking about Oshomole's action. Did anybody go to harass Oshomole for what he has done? Anything about rule of law? What happened to the judgment given concerning paying money directly to the local government chairman? Is this democracy that is practicing? Tinubu should please go and look back and do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We are tired of him.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Thank you so much for your
people marched the street last year to say, we believe Nigeria can get better for us. It's working for you guys in government, but let it work for us who are not in government as well. And in response, the government slammed treason on them. Treason means a forceful attempt to overthrow a sitting government. These guys didn't go to Aso Rock. They didn't go to where the president was. They didn't do anything against the office of the president. And you are saying that you are charging them.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the radio man.
Good morning,
God bless you,
Mr. Mario. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, sir, Mr. Sonny. God bless you, sir.
Morning, sir. You too, sir.
Could you believe that I was listening to you ever since you started this program this morning? And as I speak, I'm dumbfounded. I don't even know the word to utter. I'm telling you, I was just tracking my breath, and there's nothing I could just put across just this morning. Just that I only want to ask Mr. Sonny one question. Please, on those national honor conferred on those great Nigerians and those that are being conferred on those who are dead, is there any monetary value that is attached to those national honor given?
No, sir. No, sir.
About those national value given? Thank you very much.
Just some letters after your name. That's all.
So no monetary.
It's like saying you're obtaining BSc and somebody should pay you for that.
Should pay you for that.
It's just the letters after your name.
I mean, very good question because I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians will also be thinking that maybe it comes with some monetary stuff. All right.
So, like I was saying, rule of law is key.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good morning.
Again,
All right, Mr. Tayo. Good morning.
On the topic you brought out today on the issue of democracy.
Yes.
Vulnerable Nigerians like me cannot enjoy anything. As far as this democracy is concerned, I'm not enjoying anything, and it applies to millions of Nigerians. Democracy as practice in other climes, improved the lives of their average citizenry. But that is not the case in Nigeria. The poor are getting poorer and poorer, while the rich are getting richer and richer. That is the situation in Nigeria. As I speak to you now, I'm a pensioner, federal pensioner. Tinubu promised to give us 30,000 across the board for all pensioners under Peter since last year. Right, to be precise. And we thought he would start the payment in August last year. As I speak to you, Mr. Sonny, we are yet to see anything. No minimum wage, no anything. Even I learned that the federal workers, they got their arrears last week. And just like that, they are jubilating all over the place now. So what am I saying in effect that millions of Nigerians are not enjoying this? So I think Tinubu should go back to the drawing board. He's giving out money, but the money goes to the wrong guy. Okay, but 3 months ago, sometimes maybe around April, I got a call that they saw my name as Attacker call, donor here. And I went there. They took my name and everything, including that of my wife and 2 other children. They said they're going to give us 72,000 naira. I'm talking to you now, nothing has come out. They did it last year as well. We went to about town planning. So Tinubu is releasing money to poor Nigerians, but the money goes down. It ended up in the pocket of political leaders and things like that. So we are not enjoying anything. That is true. But my appeal to you, radio men, please listen. My appeal to you, radio men, is that let the government know that we, the poor, we are getting poorer. It's not easy for us. Tell them, let them bring down the price of food items. That's all. That's what we need. Just continue telling them that food is so expensive that poor Nigerians are not able to have a meal. They find it very difficult to have a meal. Tell them, forget about whether democracy. No. Just tell government that
thank you so much.
Food items is so
Thank
expensive.
you so much, Mr. Tayo. Good morning. Thank you so much. Is democracy really working for Nigeria?
It is not
Maybe
working. It's working for those in power, not for people who are walking the streets, not people who not for ordinary Nigerians.
Not for ordinary Nigerians. That's fine. All right, so that's a big one. There's a lot to talk about. All the dailies this morning, everyone is talking about June 12, most especially about the honors. Some names that should be there.
Ken Sarurua, fantastic.
Yeah.
Akaba Shorun, fantastic. But a lot of names, you begin to wonder how exactly this person had an honor, especially around the time of democracy. It's scary.
Do you know Achebe rejected?
Yes, he rejected it.
Were you expecting a rejection this time?
In all seriousness, and I'm saying it without any fear of contradiction, even if it is GCUN, If it is given to me by the current administration, heaven is my witness, I reject it. You cannot intentionally impoverish the people, now single me out for an award. No. If you are honoring me, you must be prepared to honor Nigerians as well. Because Nigerians are the ones who are going to rejoice with me. I can't be rejoicing where the people are living in abject penury.
All right, that's all we can take this morning. On a lighter note, before we go, I saw a video online. A cyber truck ran into a G-Wagon. Did you see that?
Now big people were now rich people were I don't concern me.
Sam, did you see the video? A cyber truck, yeah.
No, seriously, I haven't seen it. I'll search for it.
And I'm just wondering, everybody should just go home.
They'll take care of themselves.
They're going to take care of themselves. Let's enjoy our weekend. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonny, for your time.
It is an honor to
That's
be here.
our show today. Perspectives Unlimited returns again on Monday, 6:30 up until 7:30. Up next is AM Sport. God bless you and thank you for listening.
Please listen to this important information. The